Geno, it looked like things started to get away from you guys at the end of the first quarter into the second quarter. What did you see there out of your team that there?
Well, you know, going into the game, when you're playing, you know, with sort of the limitations that we have with our roster right now, you're going to need a little bit of help, obviously, and you're going to have to play exceptionally well. I thought our transition defense kind of fell apart for long stretches, and they took advantage of every mistake that we made. I thought some of our defensive stuff, again, was I just keep going back to, if you're going to win a game like this, you either have to have more players, better talent, or you're going to have to play a much smarter game and get some help from the other team. And we did not play a very smart game in the first half. And we certainly didn't get any help from them because they took advantage of every mistake that we made. Second half, we fixed a bunch of things, and I think it was like a 4-point difference in the second half. We kind of got a bunch of things squared away, but by then it might have been a little too late.
Coach, what is South Carolina's depth? What does that do to an offense? It's already pretty good in terms of their ceiling. What does that depth, being able to bring in 4 girls off the bench to be able to produce like that, do for that program?
Yeah, they're a much different team than some of the previous teams, obviously, that we've played down here. And their style of play is different. Not just their depth is different, but their style of play is different. They're able to keep the pressure on because they can bring more bodies off the bench, but they have the ability to put pressure on you from the perimeter as well as inside, way more so than any other time that I remember.
You said earlier this week that, if things had gone this way, that nothing really changes for you guys. Obviously, the bracket still a month away. What do you hope your team takes away from this, knowing that there's only a few weeks left in the regular season?
I mean, ever since all the stuff that happened with our roster, that's the furthest thing from my mind. I mean, I could care less about that. We have a bunch of young guys playing college basketball for the first time, and they've gotten better and better, each and every week, and we need to make sure that they keep getting better every week. We have to do more things right than ever before because of the situation that we're in, and we're not going to get any bigger. We're not going to add any more players, and we're not going to get any, taller. But we need to get a little smarter if we want to be able to win some of these games, come March. So we got some work to do. I thought we competed, like hell. There were just times when we were just worn down. Today, we just, there's not much that we could have. Those guys did play their brains out, But when you get as many open looks as we got, you need to make most of those in a game like this. Ash probably missed more shots tonight than she has in the last month and a half. We just didn't get an. Again, you're not going to get unlimited opportunities. So the ones you do get, you have to take advantage of, and we didn't.
It's just kind of a tough night for Nika, just 2 assists. I mean, did you feel like they did something to take her away and take away some of that passing game that has helped you guys out recently?
No, I don't think it was anything that they did. I just think Nika had a lousy game. I don't think it had anything to do with anything else.
Geno, I know, as you mentioned, you can't add players, you can't get any quicker, you can't get any bigger between now and next month. But is Are the players who are not playing a lot, are they making progress in practice? Is that something that you would consider, or at this point, is it just too late to experiment with people who aren't playing?
No, the guys that are playing are going to keep playing, and the guys that aren't playing aren't going to play. At this late stage, nobody's getting miraculously better that all of a sudden I can put them in a game like this and think they're going to help us. That's not going to happen. But ice has to be better. And that's, KK has to be a little more understanding of there's so many things that she can do, but there's some things you're not going to be able to do. And when to and when not to is the biggest learning curve for the younger guys. But no, Q has her moments, and we're going to keep working on her because we need her in the rotation as these next couple weeks unfold. So the 7 that we have right now that are playing the most minutes, that's the way it's going to be. It's going to be on those 7, and hopefully it was a great learning experience for those young guys because it's the first time that they've really had to play big roles in a game like this. But we got a lot out of Paige, and Paige didn't shoot the ball particularly well. We got a lot out of Aaliyah. But if we don't get more out of ice, then that's just going to be even more difficult for Aaliyah to do what she does. So the bottom line is our starting 5 has to play really, really well every night for us to be able to win these games.
What did you think of Paige's performance tonight? She kind of, came out hot and had that little slump in the middle. So just kind of, how did you think she handled everything?
Again, the scenario to winning and to really good players being really good is you need other good players around you to play well, but you also need time on the bench to recharge yourself. And unfortunately, she doesn't get enough of that. So she's out there for 39 minutes every night, and there's a lot of pressure on her to have to make big shots, make big plays, play defense, bang around down, and we just can't give her enough help. Unfortunately, Paige doesn't want to play the way she's going to need to play down the stretch. She's going to have to force the issue every time down the floor, and that's not how she likes to play, which is going to take even more out of her going forward.